to Colorado a couple months ago, and then recently came back to Virginia, where I'm from, for some family time, family vacation, and now I'm driving back. So, but you know, I'm learning a lot about road trips and how to keep yourself on task, how to make it kind of a more enjoyable and efficient experience. So yeah, so I'm excited to kind of share some tips. So tip number one is packing everything with intention. Packing everything so that the things you'll need on the road are within reach. Your snacks, your water, the clothes and toiletries, all the things that you're going to need on the road during the couple of days or few days or whatever should be somewhere that you know and should be within easy reach. So my trip is going to take me 3 days, 8 hours of driving each-ish, and I am going to be staying at hotels, which is not ideal for COVID, but I do have a bag that I'm just gonna grab and go. It's just a backpack with toiletries and like my change of clothes over the next couple days, so that I can easily just grab it from the car, and all the other stuff that I have is not as important and I don't need to bring it with me. Hand sanitize up. I tried to stop as little as possible. I'm gonna go get gas right now. It's my first time stopping. I've been driving for like 5 hours. I have like just under 3 hours left until I get to my next spot. I'm staying at the Holiday Inn. Whoop, whoop. About an hour now, something like that. I am definitely a fan of taking a road trip in the fall through this part of the country because it is just gorgeous, amazing. It's like hard to believe sometimes that this is real. When I look at all the land and all these towns and all these places that I'll probably never go, I'm struck with that same sensation of when I look at the ocean. It's almost scary or almost anxious, but also just awe about how large the world is, and just our country alone is huge, and there's so much to see and explore. And I always think like, I'm gonna pull over and take photos and do, you know, whatever, just like sit for a moment, but I never know like where to go, and I actually have a really terrible sense of direction, so I'm not good at just being like, let me just drive around and find that river that I saw a sign for or whatever. So my next tip, I should say, is use that cruise control. This is a new old car. It's a 2017 Toyota RAV4 hybrid, which I'm so excited to have. It's amazing. I'm very privileged and blessed. I didn't realize all of the bells and whistles that come with cars now. You should use what's called either the dynamic or radar cruise control. Absolutely life-changing. All I basically have to do is stay in the lines. It's like regular cruise control in that you can set your speed, but it also self-adjusts based on the distance you want between you and the next car, so you set that yourself. If you have a car that pulls out in front of you or a car that slows down or something, it automatically adjusts the speed. Hello. I am getting ready for the last day, the very last day of this journey. The coffee maker doesn't work in this room, which is, well, it's a very serious problem. and so I have to get coffee because I can't. My next tip is to plan where you're gonna stay, unless you're gonna be sleeping in your car, or I don't know, unless you really want to be spontaneous. But especially during COVID, I really like planning out how many hours of driving I have and where I'm gonna stay. And so each day I just put in the address to that destination, and that's what I focus on. And so I think it's a little bit easier mentally to, like, once I know where my finish line is for the day, like once I achieve that, like the rest of the day is mine. So try to plan ahead, schedule your places to stay ahead of time. I am like 3 hours from Fort Collins, and goodness, it's also like snowing pretty bad there already right now, which is kind of crazy. Driving in the snow is definitely like a little bit outside my comfort zone. Being from like the East Coast and being from like Virginia, it's more like you just don't go out when it snows like an inch. Maybe this is just something that happens when you're old, but I have certain joints that like act up a little bit, especially if I'm in the car for a really long time. And weirdly, this like carpal tunnel syndrome in my left hand, of all things, even though I'm right-handed, is popping up right now, which is not comfortable, and there's not much to do about it. You have to be in the car, right? I use a CBD cell for like lots of stuff. I mean, anytime I have sore muscles, or anytime my joints are hurting, or if I have menstrual cramps, or for any kind of pain, like topical pain reliever, it's really awesome. My brother, who came with me on this road trip, he actually takes Advil like regularly, like kind of as a preventative thing. So he'll take like 1 instead of like the 2 dosage or whatever. I prefer not to take medication, just like to use that sparingly, but that's something that I also keep within reach, is medication. So I have a little first aid kit in my glove compartment with medications, antidiarrheals, so that's a good one to have, and pain reliever, Neosporin, Band-Aids, like regular stuff. I didn't record a lot at the end of my video. It started snowing on my journey, and so I had to really focus. I'm not an experienced driver in the snow, but it brings me to my last tip, which helped me a lot during that final stretch in particular. My last tip would be to stockpile podcast, music, and books for your drive. But this tip is really more about what I use for my audiobooks, which is a free app. It's called Overdrive. So I think there's 2 variations of this app, Overdrive and Libby. I have Overdrive, and it requires you to get a library card for your local library. So whatever public library is in your area, you can sign up for a library card, and then you access this app through that library card. But what I love is it's an environmentally friendly and legal way of getting audiobooks and ebooks right to your phone. I know Audible is really popular, that's cool too, but I'm all about free ways to enjoy things, and that is one of my favorite things I've ever downloaded. So highly, highly recommend that. Yeah, I'm back home. I'm really happy. I hope that you all are doing well, taking care of yourself. Hope you're voting. Hope you're doing all the things. Keep fighting the good fight, and I'll talk to you soon.